So just over 1 month ago, I posted this video on my YouTube channel, and of course, as you can tell by the title of it, it was me ranking the National League 2022/23 home kits for this season. It did get a very good reception. A lot of people seem to agree with what I was saying. A few disgruntled National League fans from various clubs, but that's the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, you can't please everybody. And I did mention in that video that I might put together an away kits video. Well, I thought the time has finally come. 1 month later, all of the away kits are out, which means every single one is going to be included in this video, and hopefully you don't take it too harshly if I rank your club too low. I do only really ever wear two colours, which is burgundy and, as I said in the last video, grey, so don't again take it too harshly. This is just one man's opinion. Let me know how you think your club ranks in this league table of away kits. So let's get into the video. So the first kit in this video is of course going to be Aldershot. Aldershot Town have released this away strip, which as you can see is a white strip with some red and blue detailings included. It's got a pretty nice sponsor on there as well. The colours fit in pretty well with the rest of the shirt. It is quite a basic shirt, with the only major detailings being the V across the top of the chest there. I do believe the back of the shirt is plain as well. It's just white, but I do quite like the collar. I do like the red and the blue on the shirt. I think those three colours, white, red, blue, do go quite well together. So for me, just because it's not too intricate of a shirt, yet I do think that V could have been continued on maybe onto the sleeves or something. I am going to put this one in 20th. So in my last video, I did come under a little bit of stick for putting the Altrincham kit so low down in the league table. I don't quite remember where I put it, but I know it's definitely around the bottom, and that for me is just because of the sponsor in the middle. I was quite happy with the Altrincham kit. I thought it wasn't too bad. You know, the stripes, the colours, it's pretty good, pretty crisp, clean kit. However, in the middle, that sponsor really just did ruin it for me, and unfortunately for Altrincham in this case, it's gone from bad to worse, I'm pretty sure, because this time I've ranked Altringham's away kit bottom of the league table, 24th position. I just really don't like the kit at all. I don't like the navy blue and the yellow sort of colouring. It's really basic with just that one strip. I mean, at least the colours sort of match the sponsor, but for me the sponsor just still kind of stands out a little bit. Yeah, there's just nothing really going on in this kit, and I don't like the colour combination, so bottom of the league table for me. So the next kit we're going to be taking a little look at is going to be Barnet. Now Barnet, of course, the home kit was just that one colour block orange kit. I think it might have had some black trimmings as well, but again, nothing really too much going on with that one. I do believe I put it in the mid-table area last time out, and as you can see on the screen now, there is the purple kit following a similar fashion, this time with the white trimmings. I do quite like the central crest on this kit. I'm not usually a big fan of that, but I think it goes quite well in this kit. The sponsor is quite modest in terms of how it suits the shirt. Of course, it only is that white colouring, fits the colour scheme of the shirt pretty well. You'll have to excuse the quality of the photo I did include in this video. For some reason, they haven't actually got a stock image on their website of the kit, so I've had to rip it off of their kit announcement with all the players standing on the pitch. But I am going to put this shirt in 14th position in that mid-table area. It's not too bad, not too good for me. Could have done with a little bit something more, so 14th position. So as a bit of a heads up to avoid some deja vu later on in the video, we're going to be doing Boreham Wood next, and as you can see on the screen now, the Boreham Wood kit is quite interesting. It's a nice sky blue colour. It's got the darker chevron detailings, but this kit may look a little bit familiar as some of the ones we're going to see later on in the video. I do believe Chesterfield and York have some pretty similar kits. Puma not working too hard on their templates this season. However, with that being said, it's definitely not a bad kit. My main gripe with the Boreham Wood home kit was, of course, the Wood Army big plastered logo across the front. I do appreciate, of course, that is a tribute, of course, to the fan base and those loyal supporters of Boreham Wood, but as a neutral, as someone who doesn't really have anything towards Boreham Wood, I am going to put this kit in 9th place. So on to Bromley now, one of Maidstone United, my club's closest rivals, at least in proximity, and they have got this red and white striped kit released. Of course, it is Kappa. Quite a fan of Kappa. I do like how they detail the shoulders and things, similar to that of Hummel with the chevron. So for me, this Bromley kit is very good kit. It does contrast their main kit quite well. It does look very clean. I do like the sort of pinstripes going on. The logo fits pretty well on there. Everything looks quite neat. The collar, the cuffs, it all looks pretty good. Fits in with the colour scheme of the kit as well. There's really nothing wrong with this kit. For me, perhaps something a little bit more outlandish. Could have pushed it up a little bit more for me, but overall it's a very, very nice kit in my opinion. So I am going to put this one in 7th place. So we're back to Pumagate, of course, as I did mention with the Boreham Wood kit just a couple of moments ago. We are here at Chesterfield's away kit for the season, and as you can see, it's a little bit familiar to that Boreham Wood kit. No Boreham Wood army plastered across the front, which of course wouldn't be seen on a Chesterfield kit, but it does have the Puma logo, of course, and as I said, they haven't really gone very outlandish with their templates this season. The exact same chevron pattern in the exact same style as that Boreham Wood kit. A little bit different to the York one we'll see later, but for me, this kit, I don't like the colour of it. The shiny kind of metallic-y green sort of thing. The chevrons, exactly the same as the Boreham Wood kit, but just not as nice. It doesn't look very good to me. It looks a bit murky green. I'm not a big fan of green kits. They blend in with the pitch a lot. As someone who commentates games as well, it's a nightmare at times to be able to read names on the back of a shirt of a dark kit. So yeah, for me, this kit is just really not anything to write home about. So I am going to put Chesterfield down in 22nd place. So in the previous video, I did slate this next team massively. Dagenham and Redbridge, I was not a fan of their home kit in the slightest. That was in the sort of relegation zone of this league table, I do believe, in the bottom 4 or along those lines. I can't quite remember, but again, with this away kit, I'm not best pleased with it. Of course, I'm not a Dagenham fan, so maybe it means something more to them than it would to me as someone who does not support the club. But for me, the Western Co logo sticks out like a sore thumb. It kind of reminds me of those little sticker labels you get on an apple. You kind of peel that off, bang it on your club kit, and that's kind of how it fits into me. It just doesn't fit in with the shirt at all. The colours are a little bit off as well. The collar isn't too bad, but for me, I prefer the more rounded necks rather than the sort of V-neck thing we're seeing on this one. And for the sleeves as well, I'm just not a big fan of that. I don't know why. It kind of starts halfway down the sleeve and then continues with the blue further on. Perhaps if it started from the shoulder and went down, it might be a little bit better, but yeah, not really hitting it for me. So 21st place for Dagenham. So on to the next team in the list, and it is going to be Dorking Wanderers. Maidstone's arguably biggest rival in the National League this season after the competition we had in the South last year. In this video, I have got Dorking in 8th place. I do really like the kit actually. It looks very clean, very professional, very smart. I like the colour combinations as well, the red, white and blue. I do think it's quite modest, which I quite like in an away shirt as well. It is, not trying something so outlandish that people are just going to look at it and think, why have you tried that? But it does represent Dorking with the club colours, but they're just inverted from what you'd see on the home kit. I'm not a massive fan of these kind of triangular collars, but I do quite like the trimmings of this. You've got the Macron badge, of course, in red. You've got the little trimming down the bottom of the shirt in blue as well. And the blue collar, it just all looks quite good with a very modest logo on the front as well. So, as I said, Dorking in 8th place. So a kit that was actually missed out from the last video. I did include last season's home kit in the original one of these videos, but this time Eastleigh have actually got a kit released for this video. So for the first time, Eastleigh are going to be ranked properly. I did rank their last season home kit quite well. The away kit doesn't quite meet the same expectations for me. Of course, it is an away kit, so it's not going to be the blue and white. They have gone quite outlandish, really, with orange and black. It's quite a bold, standing out shirt. It's got the Utilita sponsor on the front, of course, which doesn't look too bad, of course, with the Kappa white logos in there as well. And they have gone just a very basic, very simple standard kit. Orange, of course, with that strip across the middle, and following it on to the sleeves as well, which I quite like. So for me, easily, I'm going to put them in 12th place. So up next is going to be the team who I believe I put last in the home kit video, is going to be Gateshead, and in real life they have just beaten Maidstone 4-1 just a week ago, which means I'm not going to look too favourably upon this kit. I'm just joking. I won't let that affect it, of course, you know. Good win for them, but in terms of their kits, I think they might have lost on this one. I think I put their home kit last, and their away kit is just going to be bettered by 1 for me. The whole blue and white paint splatter type thing, I'm not really sure what the goal is here. Maybe I haven't understood it. Maybe it's a Gateshead thing, which means a bit more to them, as I've already said with some of the kits in this video. But it just doesn't sit right for me. You know, you've got the sponsor red in the middle, it just doesn't fit with the shirt in the slightest. It just doesn't, it's not a very appealing kit. I can't imagine myself wearing this out at the football. It just doesn't really look like a football top. It almost looks like someone's got their nice blue shirt on and they've done some painting over the weekend and got a bit of splashback from the wall. So yeah, for me, Gateshead in 23rd position. So on the screen now, you will be able to see the Halifax Town away kit. Now, for me, this is actually quite an interesting shirt. You know, there's quite a bit going on here. It's got a few different colours on it as well. The yellow, the white, the black. All a pretty decent combination of colours. And it's something which you don't really see very often. This style of shirt is nothing I've really seen before. Of course, you do see detailings on the torso of shirts with the plain sleeves semi-regularly. But of course, it has got the Adidas stripes down the sleeves as well, which does add a little bit more to this shirt. I do think that the black trimmings throughout do go quite well with the yellow and the white, and for me, just that pattern on the front is something a little bit different, something that you've never really seen before, at least I haven't seen before, and I do think it goes quite well. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of yellow kits, but I think to make one look pretty appealing is quite a tough job. So for me, I put Halifax down in 13th. Next up is going to be Maidenhead, the favourites for relegation in the video that I did put out doing my pre-season predictions, and fortunately for them, they're nowhere near the relegation zone on this one. I do really actually quite like this template kit. I think it's very crisp, very clean. The logo in the middle, the sponsorship actually suits really well. I do like how it's got the little red hexagon around it, blends in with the kit colours really well. I do like just the simple black and red stripes. I do think maybe if the collar was black, that may add a little bit more to this shirt. But for me, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a very nice, very simple shirt, something which I think any football team should be very proud to wear. And for that reason, I've got it down in 11th. So in the previous video, I did rank my hometown club, Maidstone United, in about 7th or 8th position. I don't think our home kit is anywhere near the best in the league, and I don't think it's the best Maidstone home kit we've had for a little while. However, it is last season's kit. We did continue on for 2 years, so this is our, of course, second stint with these home and away kits. And in this video, of course, we've got Regan Booty there modelling the away kit very nicely, and I do really like the kind of sky blue and white stripes. I really like how the black contrasts from the Macron logos as well, plus the sponsorships on the sleeves. I do think the badge stands out a little bit too much, but I do think overall it's a pretty nice shirt. And although you can't really see it on this photo, everybody who had a season ticket during the Corona seasons has actually got their names detailed within those stripes there. So for me, that's a really fitting tribute, and potentially a little bit of bias coming through on this one, because it just means quite a lot as a supporter of the club to have that on their shirt and have it look very nice as well. So for me, I have put Maidstone United in 3rd place. Going on to a title favourite this season, we are going to be looking at Notts County next. In the previous video, I ranked their pretty simple white and black kit around the mid-table mark, and this time round they've gone for a somewhat plain kit. It's very basic in its design, just the lavender and the white colour on there. For me, it's a pretty simple shirt, not a lot going on. I'm not a massive fan of that main bulk colour of the kit, and for that reason, I've got Notts County in 17th place. So dropping down from League 2 into the National League for this season is of course Oldham Athletic, a team who I do believe I ranked first in the last video. I did really like their home kit. I do believe they had that sort of leafy pattern on there, and what a stunning kit that was as well. And for me, this away kit, as you can see, the Hummel design follows suit. For me, this is an absolutely outstanding away kit. I absolutely love it to bits. I really like the Hummel kit design. I'm a big fan of chevrons and things. The collar is a little bit strange for me, the overlap. As you see there, it comes down one side and across along the bottom. I think that would have been a little bit better if it was just closed off in the middle. But look at that kit design. The triangular patterns, it's just got such a good feel to it. It's got a very clean, crisp look. It's very intricate in the same way, and I just think everything goes really well together. The Oldham badge just slots straight in there as well with the colours on the shirt, and for me, this is going to follow suit with the home kit, and I'm going to rank it first in the National League for this season. So up next is going to be the other League 2 team dropping down, and we are going to be talking about Scunthorpe, of course. Scunthorpe, the home kit, I absolutely loved. Thought it was a fantastic home kit. Really enjoyed every aspect of it, besides that collar. But this time round, the away kit does not follow suit in that colour coordination or the design template. The collar is also different on it as well, which is a little bit of a bonus. Unfortunately, the rest of the shirt just does not follow suit for me. Again, this is one of those which may mean more to the home fans of the club, as I'm not quite sure why this template of colour was chosen. I do think yellow, red and blue could go quite well together, but I really don't understand what's going across the top there. Not really sure why they've opted for that design. I do quite like the sleeves and the trimming, how that matches at the bottom. I do like how it follows quite closely with the colours of the club crest as well, and the BMW logo doesn't stand out too much, but for me it's just really ruined by, well, first of all, a pretty terrible picture, but this bit across the top as well. So for me, Scunthorpe narrowly missing the relegation on this table in 19th place. So another one of last season's big boys up towards the top of the table was Solihull Moors, of course, in the playoffs last season, and going to be aiming to do the same again this year, and I've got them in the playoffs in this league table as well. I've actually put Solihull in 5th spot, and you may be asking, why would you put this kit, something that seems pretty simple, in 5th position? Well, I actually really enjoy the colours of it, the red and the white. Adidas as well, with the signature stripes across the top of the shoulders there, and I do really like how the white goes down the side of the torso as well. I think everybody can agree that this is a very simple kit, but sometimes doing it simple does work quite well, and I like the fact that it contrasts so greatly to the home kit as well. Of course, we saw Solihull's home kit just stands out very, very much. So this is a lot more simple, something that I can definitely picture myself, wearing out and about to the town, going shopping, or to the supermarket, anything like that. It's quite a general use shirt, and I really like that aspect of it. So for me, 5th place, Solihull Moors. So again, in the previous video, I did get a little bit of stick from some fans of this team. Southend, of course, I am talking about, the team with the funny collar from the last video, which was one of the main reasons I ranked them so low. Again, can't quite remember where I ranked them, but I know it was in and around the bottom. This time, I think I've done a little bit better on the away kit. I am a bit more lenient in terms of away kits as well, being somewhat more different or outlandish, something like that. Yellow home kit for me is not going to be as appealing as a yellow away kit, which is what we see here with Southend. I do quite like the colour contrast, the yellow and the blue. The home crest does fit on there quite well, which is of course nice to see, but for me, the combination of that collar and the amount of stuff going on this shirt isn't going to rank Southend too highly. For me, I've got them in 16th place. I think that's quite fair, considering how many nice kits there are in the National League this season. Even the ones I've ranked right down the bottom, Altrincham, Gateshead, etc., aren't terrible kits. They are quite nice in some aspects. So even if I do rank your team down the bottom, don't be too aggrieved by it. There's a lot of nice kits in the National League this season. The next away kit in this video is going to be that of Torquay United, and going back to the home kit once again, we saw a very simplistic kit last time out, and they followed suit here with the away kit. And now for me, this shirt is absolutely lovely. It's very basic, very plain, but there's some more intricate details there. If you look down the middle of the shirt, there is that zigzag pattern going across. There's also got the trimmings down the side of the torso towards the bottom there, which I quite like. There is some very subtle differences as well, with the collar and the cuffs being slightly darker than the rest of the shirt, that sort of off-white colour. I love the simplicity of the 1899 across the middle as well. I really like the fact that everything else is exactly the same colour. You know, you haven't got a blue club crest, and then you've got a black Puma logo, you've got a yellow 1899. I just like the fact that it's all that off-white silvery sort of colour, and for me this is a fantastic shirt, something I'd wear absolutely anywhere if I was a Torquay fan. So I think they really knocked out of the park with this one, and that's why I put Torquay in second place. Wealdstone have changed it up a little bit in their design template from the home kit, of course, just a basic blue with the Wealdstone badge, copy and pasted in a slightly larger size across the middle of the shirt. This time they've gone a little bit more funky, a little bit more outlandish, and as I said earlier on, you know, I do get a sense of appeal from that in terms of the away shirts. You know, you can be a bit more lavish, a little bit more outlandish, and you know, creative with your design, and I think they've gone quite bold with this one. Yellow and white, of course, with the blue trimmings, which I actually do rate the blue trimmings. For me, if this kit maybe had like a blue trimming along the bottom of it and along the sleeves as well, you know, on the cuffs, this kit would be a lot higher for me. At the moment, I've currently got it in 18th place. I do like the design. I do think it's quite intricate. It's a lot different. You know, there's no other kit in the league that does look like this one, which for me is a big plus. I do like the kit manufacturer as well, and I like the fact that that colour fits with the rest of the trimmings, but for me it just needs a little bit more of a touch up. Like I said, with the trimmings being a different colour, that could have boosted it up towards that mid-table spot a little bit more for me, but at the moment Wealdstone 18th. So up next is going to be Woking, and of course it's another yellow kit. Starting to get a little bit tired of them at the moment. I know I've been quite lenient towards the yellow kits in this video so far, but yeah, it's starting to get bogging me down a little bit. These banana coloured kits really starting to get a bit repetitive. However, this one is a little bit different. It is of course an Adidas kit, and we do see what I was talking about earlier with the Dagenham and Redbridge shirt. That kind of, you've got the sleeve colouring starting halfway down the sleeve, which is a little bit strange. Of course, it's got the signature Adidas stripes along the shoulders, and I actually quite like the sponsor on the front, Boz's Fruit and Veg. You know, it's just, that's a little bit different, isn't it? Something I can get behind. Of course, I'm assuming a local business, always behind supporting those. And for me, Woking, I'm going to put them in 15th, which I think is a pretty modest position. Nothing too extravagant from this kit, but nothing too disappointing either. So in that mid-table spot, I think Woking fans will be pretty content with that one. But on to what may be the most unexpected kit so far, and it is of course, looking at it, Yeovil. I thought with their home kit they did an incredibly good job at making a green kit look good, and I think they've done the same here with their away kit as well. Purple and pink seems to be the colour scheme for this one. Jurassic fibre along the front as well, which I'm quite a big fan of. You know, it's quite a nice sponsor looking on there. It just looks very clean. And I do, of course, fancy the Hummel shirt developers as well. And for me, if you can make a pink and purple striped kit look as good as this, then I think you've done an exceptionally good job. The collar looks fantastic as well. Very clean, very prominent as well. But being able to do that and make something look good, but also stand out quite well is a very good thing for me. I like the fact that the sleeves are just pink, the stripes end just down the middle, and for that reason I'm going to put Yeovil in 6th. A very outlandish kit, but I think they've delivered really well on this one. So we're back to Puma Party, and again we see the exact same kit almost as Boreham Wood and Chesterfield throughout this video. For me, this kit is a little bit different. In the previous ones, it's a very subtle difference, but the chevron, actually the point ended here, but this time it ends about here, which means it's off the actual shirt. And for me, for some reason, that just looks a little bit better, rather than seeing a really thin pointed chevron and just ending there. I quite like the fact that it's bulked out a little bit more. I do like the fact it goes up to the shoulders. I like the fact that the shirt sponsors are all the same colour as well. The York City badge, although I can't particularly see it very well, is still a very nice colour. I'm sure this photo is not the best representation of the kit. For me, I do rank it a little bit better than the Bournemouth one. It's a slightly nicer colour, and it's got a better shirt sponsor on the front for me. Again, sorry Wood Army, I know it means a lot more to you than it does to me, but I just can't get behind that being across the front of the shirt. I prefer the imp, it looks a lot more subtle to me. So for that reason, I'm putting York in 4th place. So on to the last kit in this video, and of course we're going back to Hollywood, the TikTokers, the dancers, the Welsh boys, whatever you may want to call them. It is of course Wrexham AFC, and for me this kit is a very simple kit. Of course, not a lot going on. It has got the Macron sponsors. I do like the fact that all the sponsorships are the same colour again, the black. I do like the fact that the trimming also works out on the collar there as well. The fact that the club crest is outlined in black as well, plus the little armpit colourings there in black do appeal to me. They've also got down the side of the torso some black detailings as well there, which I think is quite nice. And I like the fact that the white trimming just adds a little bit more to this kit, kind of, you know, taking that white from the club crest, in my opinion, with the white trimmings along the bottom and on the cuffs as well. So for me, again, nothing really stands out too much from this Wrexham kit. Not a massive fan of the TikTok sponsor on the front. Haven't got it, but I don't recommend you get it either. It seems like a strange place to be, TikTok. Saying that, I'll probably be on there in a few months with this channel, but Wrexham for me are going to go down in 10th place to cap off this video. So thank you everybody for watching it. The top 3 in this video are Oldham in 1st position, Torquay in 2nd position, and Maidstone United in 3rd. And the relegation zone is Altrincham down the bottom, Gateshead, Chesterfield and Dagenham and Redbridge making up the bottom 4. Again, as I said earlier on in the video, please do not be too aggrieved by one man's opinion. This is one man who only wears 2 colours anyway, burgundy and grey, and only wears shorts, t-shirts and block coloured jumpers. So my fashion sense is definitely nothing to write home about. So I'll probably be at the bottom of this league table if I was creating a kit myself. However, I do hope you did enjoy the video. As I said, leave your comments down below as to where you think your club's kit should rank. And do you agree with my top 3? Do you agree with my relegation zone? Let me know. I'm always interested to hear what you're thinking. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.